Hey guys, Gareth here. Today we're going to talk about a couple things that I wish I knew about before owning an airplane. Number one, maintenance. These aircraft are heavy on maintenance. You always need to keep your finger on the airplane. You need to keep it maintained, and maintenance is up to you as the owner. It's not like with a flying school where they keep their airplane maintained and you can rock up there, you go and fly and the plane's all good. And you might get to your airplane, the battery's dead, or you have a puncture and it's up to you to fix, it's up to you to get the admin done. That is sort of a consideration. Washing your airplane, keeping your airplane up to scratch is definitely a lot more time consuming than what I thought it would be. To be straight with you, I thought like, yeah, sure, like it shouldn't be too much, but with an experimental aircraft, because this is experimental, you really need to keep your finger on it. Whereas if you're flying a certified aircraft, the maintenance schedules and things like that are a bit different. Certified aircraft, you need to get an AMO to look after the airplane, whereas there's slightly different airworthiness requirements. Washing your airplane is super important because that's where you cover maintenance gaps and you pick it up, because you can pick up on small little snags when you're washing your airplane. It's good to always have a clean airplane. There's grease where there needs to be grease and there's no grease where there doesn't need to be grease, and you can pick up on things prior to them happening, keep track of trends and things like that on components. So I think that's super important. It is labor intensive. It's like a gym session. It's anywhere between 3 and 5 hours to do a proper clean on an airplane this size. I don't even want to know what a big Cessna would take, because all that grime and things like that. Another catch is hangarage. Hangarage is a big problem in South Africa. I know the guys in the US are also battling with hangarage a bit, and I think it's the availability and the costing of hangarage. When I stay in Stellenbosch, the Stellenbosch airfield's 8 minutes door to door essentially, and I can't get a hangar there. I've been trying for 3 or 4 years to get a spot in a hangar there to rent, and it's just freaking pulling chicken's teeth to get a spot there. And we had a spot and it was sort of temporary and we got kicked out, and I'm back at Cape Winelands, which is a 40-minute drive, and we're paying a premium here and we don't have flights, which makes this really hard to record. But we sort of need to live with that. And when I was looking at buying the airplane, I thought like, yeah, hangarage, sure. It's a bigger problem than what you actually think, so you need to take hangarage into consideration. There's a ton of admin involved in owning an airplane, which is something I didn't know. Like, you need to make sure that all the paperwork is sorted. Whereas if you're at the flying school, they do all of that. If you own the airplane, it's radio licenses, it's authority to fly, a certificate of airworthiness, the plane needs to be signed out. It's you organizing all that, which, there is an admin component to owning an airplane that nobody really talks about. And it is a lot of work, but it's totally worth it. When I say it's a lot of work, it's maybe 2 or 3 days a year, maybe. Pre-buy inspection is pretty important. Having a good pre-buy inspection on an aircraft that you want to purchase is really important. And it's something that we don't really have in South Africa, and I know a lot of friends in the US that I have actually found issues during a pre-buy inspection on aircraft, which luckily they didn't, sort of buy into the aircraft because they picked up on pre-buy inspection issues and saved them a ton of money in the end. Pre-buy inspection and maybe chatting to someone who knows a lot about that aircraft is a good idea. And also maybe go and fly an aircraft before you actually own one. Kitbox/Bush baby isn't the easiest airplane to fly. And having some hours on an airplane before you're buying an airplane is maybe not a bad idea. You can actually go and learn what it's like flying that airplane and get a feel for it. Is this what you really want? Is that your mission? Does it meet your mission criteria? And then I think you need to ask yourself what your mission criteria is, because who knows what their mission criteria is, especially when you're a 60-hour pilot. I'm committed for the next how many years? Yes, the costs are quite a thing. The purchase price is one thing, and then buying the aircraft is one thing, and getting all those numbers together is a different thing, because there's always a way to make the number look good for you to make it work. And if you really want an airplane, just go and buy an airplane, because it doesn't matter how you make the numbers, you can make the numbers look good for yourself. Buying an airplane is expensive, but then you want to upgrade, and that's where the catch is. The upgrades are what costs money as well. And then if you want bigger tires, you want a different propeller, you want a different engine, and it starts getting expensive. So, if you look at the costs of owning an airplane, yes, it's expensive, but the amount of freedom that you get is unmatched. You can't explain the amount of freedom. And I think owning an airplane versus renting an airplane is really cool, especially if you have friends that own an airplane. Because if you want to go on a trip and a mission that's 3 or 4 days long, it's not feasible to rent an aircraft for 3 or 4 days long. It's going to cost you the earth. You're going to feel in the back of your mind, what is this about? I'm not enjoying this, because you're just throwing money at it. Whereas if you own the aircraft, it's fuel and it's better maintenance here and there you go. It's hard to explain. You have so much freedom that comes with owning an aeroplane and that far outweigh the costs most of the time in any way, especially when we could go and camp on a Friday evening. So there's a lot of sort of freedom that comes with that. The other consideration is you go through a lot of shoes when you fly a tailwheel aeroplane, especially bush flying. So you can add a pair of shoes extra here and there. The world is your oyster if you own an aeroplane for the most part, or if you have your pilot's license. So if you don't have a pilot's license, I think you start there, get your pilot's license, get an aeroplane and go flying. Drop some comments down below what you thought of it, what your experiences of owning an aeroplane, or what you wished you knew or didn't know about owning an aeroplane. And maybe it's worth discussing. Or maybe we can make another video about some of those topics and go into a bit more depth. If there's anything that we need to go into deeper, like, let's go for it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.